Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and today I'm going to show you this T-Sun RGB garden floodlight that I've received for your review. And if you watch my videos, then a couple of months ago I posted a video how I put some garden lights, like some string lights on my tree, and how I was driving it with WLED. And to be honest, that light sort of like failed after a couple of weeks, and I contacted the seller and they refunded me for the string lights. And actually I read on the forum that that could have been a manufacturing issue, and about the same time this company contacted me about these floodlights, and I thought, well, this is going to be the perfect replacement for those failed lights, because you know, I'm done with these sort of string lights. Maybe this is going to be much easier to install. I can have it just, you know, in the grass or just around the tree, and then sort of point upwards and then project light onto the tree. So I jumped to the occasion to, you know, say to the seller that I would like to, you know, review this product and obviously make a video of this. So this is what you can see now. And what I got is these 4 lights that are controlled by a mobile app, which in this case is not a Wi-Fi app, but it is a Bluetooth app. So as it turns out, you are getting a power supply, you're getting these 4 lights, and the wires between each of the lights are about 2 meters or sort of like 6.5 feet. And you also get these things that you can, you know, push into the grass or the soil, and then it just attaches to these points here. And you know, it is working all nice. And I mean, I know that I won't be able to control this from Node-RED because the application is a Bluetooth application, but actually I thought that, you know, maybe this is going to be a good project for me to learn how I can control Bluetooth devices. And I didn't know if I would be able to succeed that. It looks like that I won't be able to control them because I just don't know enough about Bluetooth. So sort of at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some technical details of what I have managed to done so far. And if you know how to sort of like listen to Bluetooth traffic or how to debug some sort of like mobile application, and if you can help me out to sort of decipher the communication between the mobile app and these devices, then, you know, head to the end of the video and maybe you can help me out. But let me continue with the review of this product, and actually let me show you the website first. So this is the T-Sun website, and that's the product that I've chosen, or actually this was the product that I was offered. And I anyway wanted a color changing one. So this is the, you know, the color changing LED landscape lights. So that was, you know, perfectly what I needed. And as you can see, it comes in with these 4 lights and the mobile app, and you get a power transformer as well. And you can control it with the mobile app, which gives you, you know, changes to colors and a couple of effects that we are going to see later on. And yeah, there are some specs here, and I think what is a little bit more important is that yeah, you would be able to control these 4 lights individually, but you can control them together as well. And you can see the main things here. So you have about roughly 2 meters or 6.5 feet between the lights. So altogether, you can string this out with the power cord about 8 meters, so 26 feet. So the interesting thing is that this power adapter is basically just a 12 volt 2 amp power adapter. So if you don't want to use this, for example, in my case, because this is a US power adapter, and what is more important is that it is not a multi-voltage. So this is only 100 to 100 to 20 volts. So I won't be able to use this. I don't have a step down power transformer, but as I said, this is only just a 12 volt power brick. So I'm using my own for this testing, and it says that the light source is about 3 watts per light. Actually, I measured, and in full brightness and white color, it consumes about 2 watts. So it's not really 3 watts, but I think for a landscape light, it is, yeah, that's not bad. And of course, it is IP65 rated, and yeah, you can see the rest here. But I'm going to show you these details anyway, and then you can see some of the other products. So let me switch the view back to the full screen. So as you can see, each of the light is housed in this metal body, and it has this hinge which has the hole in it. So this is how you can attach this spike or whatever it's called. So it has a screw on the top which can, so that can go through that hole like that. And so I haven't installed it yet, obviously, just wanted to show you this. And this is, I think this is some hard plastic, the actual spike, but it feels really, really solid and rigid. And as I said, this is metal construction. This is a metal bracket as well. There are some screws, so you can just tighten it up. And there is a nice cable gland with some silicone seal around it. And of course, this front part is plastic. Got a little bit scratched here, but overall I think it looks like a very decent construction, and it looks like that it could be even serviceable. You have some screws here, and I can see a seal around it. So yeah, it looks like a very decent one. You can see the cluster of LEDs, and then each of these units are connected together using these separate connectors. And as you can see, these connectors are also waterproof. So there is this, you know, you have this whole cap that screws on. You also have a rubber ring here, but this is actually just a very simple barrel jack. So each of these units, each of these lights will receive the 12 volts, and they have their own Bluetooth chip and also the controller in it. So once we go into the mobile app, you will see that you can connect all these 4 lights individually, and this is why you can control them you know, together or individually as well. And that also means that if you buy, let's say, 2 of these units, so like 8 lights altogether, you can just string them together. I mean, obviously you get a bigger power supply, and with the same app you can just control as many lights as you want. I mean, I haven't really seen any specs. I don't think that it has any limitation of how many lights it can control. And of course, these cables, they have a splitter, so obviously you can just daisy chain them. And the power supply, as I said, is just 12 volts, 2 amp, and it's only 100 to 120 volts. So I won't be able to use this even with the adapter. So I would need a step down converter, but I think I'm just going to use yeah, my own power supply. And it has this plug, and I thought that this is some sort of special plug, but as it turns out, I was able to go to my local store and I was able to buy a very similar plug. Well, actually, it is the same plug. So yeah, this is how it looks like. So I was able to wire to my, you know, my own power supply. The only thing is I couldn't get one which is in black, so I had to buy this white one. But anyway, it works. And if I power it to my, or if I connect it to my power supply, well, you can see that the lights come on automatically. And actually this is a nice feature because the lights will remember the last settings they were in terms of colors and brightness and everything. So as soon as you power them on, they would come on automatically if they were switched on last time, which means that if you want to automate these lights, what you can do is you can just connect them to a smart plug, and they will, you know, once the smart plug turns on, the lights would come on automatically, and of course they would remember the settings. So then, you know, when the lights are on, you can pull up the mobile application and you can change the colors. But first of all, I want to show you the app that you need to download. It is called iStrip Plus. Well, for the Android, it looks like that is a very new app. It only has 10K downloads. There are no reviews, but I mean, I think it looks, you know, a fairly decent app, to be honest. So if I open the app, you can see that it is going to connect to the lights automatically. By the way, when you use it for the first time, you click on the plus icon, and then it will find all the lights. So I have 4 lights, and they all have a slightly different, you know, Bluetooth ID. This is why I said if you buy 2 sets, then you would just have 8 of these here on the screen. And now I can control them. So for example, I can change the color, and of course, it's going to, you know, blind the camera, so I'm just going to reduce the brightness as much as I can. But you know, they respond really, really quickly, and it looks like that sort of like all the lights are getting changed at the same time. So I don't see any lag between you know, one light or the other. But to be honest, I don't think you're going to play around. So even if there is a lag here, it's not going to be, critical. So of course you have controls, turn the thing on and off, change the brightness. As I said, it gets, it gets fairly bright. Obviously, it gets very, very bright for the camera. So I'm just going to lower it. And you have the brightness control. This is what I show you. And you also have the saturation control. So you can move this slider and then basically to, change to between, white color and the actual color that you have picked from the color wheel. And yeah, I think my camera is not doing justice for these lights. They are really, they are looking really nice colors, but I think it's just probably too much light for my camera. So maybe I can do that, and it's going to give me, slightly better footage. So I just turned the lights around because I think it was too much for my camera. So now I can increase the brightness somewhat, and you can see the actual colors here and the reflection. And I can put this piece of paper here, so it gives you a better understanding what it looks like in person. And yeah, I can change the colors, and the colors change obviously. So, and this is still pretty much like 10% brightness. On the lower part of the screen, you have some sort of like quick color settings. So a couple of basic colors, and also you have some, colors like cool white, and I would say probably natural white, and this is warm white. So if you want to pick these colors, and you can also rotate this screen, so you have like, 3 different screens. So you have to have some effects, and there are some really, I would say, useless effects. If you want to use it for a garden light, my problem is that I would even pick some of these effects, but even if you slow it down to the lowest possible speed, I think it is still, way too quick. So they are just annoying. I mean, if this would be like tenth of the speed, which means that, it changes colors maybe like every 30 seconds, I think that would be bearable. But you have these effects like, it fades between either 7 or 3 colors. It has this breathing, which is like sort of fade in and fade out, and it, always fades in and fades out to a different color. And you have the obligatory flash, which is probably the most useless one. And you have these different varieties with different colors. And then if you just pick the breathe or strobe, you can make it in these basic colors as well, red, green, and blue. So yeah, I don't think anyone is going to spend a lot of time on here. And here you have you can create different groups. So this is the screen where you would be able to control the lights individually, which I'm guessing for 4 maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense, but if you have a lot of lights, maybe you can create groups that are facing different parts of, let's say, your garden or the house. So you can have the master control where you control all of them, or you can create groups. Oops. And well, these are the 3 screens that you have, and you have this music mode, and of course you have to allow access to your microphone. And you can, so if you play music, then it flashes. So I think it is absolutely useless. I don't really want to do anything more than that. And of course, it can also respond to, the microphone. And again, it just flashes. So I would say it is absolutely useless. So most probably, I'm going to use it in just a simple color mode. And once in a while, when the lights are on, I'm just going to open the app and then change the colors. We have a couple of settings as well. So if you click on the clock wheel, there is a timer. So I mentioned previously that maybe you can use this in conjunction with a smart plug or a smart socket. But if you don't want to use it and you just want this to be plugged in all the time, you can use this timer functionality as well. So just have this automatically turn on and turn off separate specific days of the hour or minutes of the day, or also which days of the week. I mean, you only have these 2 basically 1 settings, when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So you can't set some really complicated schedules, but you can do that as well. You can change the language of the application, so you have these languages available. You can also, it's basically just a screen to read the instructions and how to do this thing. You have also this line sequence adjustment. So I'm guessing this application is going to be used or will be used for many different products. So this is just a generic Bluetooth RGB controller. And also you have two different user interface that you can choose from. So I just picked a fashion. I don't think that it makes a huge difference. Well, definitely not in terms of the functionality that you get from these devices. So it's not an awful lot to say, but I think it gives you the basic controls. It is very easy to use. It is very responsive. And I mean, that's what you would expect from an RGB lights control. The colors, the brightness, and also some color temperature. Probably the odd thing that you could have asked for is just to save your own presets. So if you have some favorite colors, which are none of the preset colors before, maybe it would have been nice to save them. But other than that, I think they are, fairly good and decent products. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, let me show you what I can see on these devices in the NRF Connect application. So if I connect to one of the lights, then I can see that it has two services, as far as I can tell. And if I go to this service, I see a read-only property, which always gives me this value. And if I, turn this into hex or string, then it looks like some sort of the firmware, because it's, it doesn't change. Even if I change the colors, this doesn't change. I thought this is the how you can read the actual state, but no, it's not. And you have this characteristic, which is the write only, no response. So I'm guessing that maybe the application sends a like some sort of binary array or binary buffer to these characteristics, which is going to control sort of brightness, colors, and all the other data for all these lights. And of course, it would be nice if I have any information about this protocol, because, well, here I can just send data in, but I can't even guess how long that is. And I have no idea if it's possible to sort of listen to the communication that is happening between the application and the device itself. And I'm guessing it's not possible, because I don't think that Bluetooth is designed that way. So I'm not really sure what are the options here. And if somebody knows anything about this, I mean, it would be really nice if can give me some ideas how you go about sort of like debugging or reverse engineering a Bluetooth controller like this one. And with this, I conclude my review of this T-Sun RGB Garden landscape light. If you are interested in this product, I'm going to leave purchasing links in the video description. But that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.